Good morning, friends. I'm ThatPsySquatch. Today, we're going to learn how to make a Minecraft flying machine. Let's get into it. Now, since most of my experience with flying machines is basically TNT bombers and elevators, we need to first start off with some of the core mechanics of how slime blocks work. And yep, they are slime. Now, I believe the basic concept that we need is we're going to have one piston to push it, and then one piston to pull it. But pushing it would be a standard piston, and pulling it, I imagine, would need to be a sticky piston. So if we grab this guy, and that pulls it forward, but then we also need to carry this forward. So let's see. Probably some quasi connectivity to do things. I imagine if this guy updates. All right. So push it back. The quasi connectivity would then cause this piston to power, which would then push things forward. And then we would need to power this piston to push forward again, which I believe would finish the circuit. Now, oddly enough, I've seen things and heard of things in the past called caterpillar flying machines, and I have a feeling that this is basically the core design behind it. So then if we power this middle one, it should then start repeating. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So step one, how do flying machines work? I think we got that covered. And now we need to figure out how to make the legs work, which I have a feeling might kind of suck. Okay, now as for the feet, I want this flying machine to actually have a walking animation. So to work on the feet, I believe we're gonna need something like this. So the idea here is when this redstone block gets moved, it'll depower this piston, which will pick it up, pulling it off of the ground. And then we're gonna need to push it. And then after it's pushed forward, we'll need to detract that and then power this again to make it step back down. Okay, now for connecting this together, let's go ahead and try something like this. We're gonna have to power that piston some way, which I think we could do like this. No, like this. And then with here, we depower this. Then that is pulled up, and then when we push this forward, perfect. Okay, so that pushed the entire thing forward. It caused this to update, which pushed the feet forward. And then if this is powered again, then it steps back down. So let's see. So if we try that again, if I could actually place things correctly. Power this, everything gets pulled up. This did not trigger, which I think this block just requires an update. And then everything gets pushed back down again. Okay, I think this is what we want, peeps. Let's try that again. So if we power this, it gets pushed forward, foot gets raised. And then if we find a way to update this block, then that will trigger the piston to push the foot forward and then step back down onto the ground. Okay, so how would we chain that together? I think if we have, say, something that can be triggered. Oh, hold on, that's not gonna work. So let's see. So let's say if we set up an engine to push this, then when that's activated, it'll push everything forward. Okay, and then if we set up a second piece to that to update this piston, we should be able to do that something like this. So if we put this here, and then if we update this, that then causes the foot to get pushed forward and step down, which is exactly what we want. So I think we have the basic idea of how the core engine is supposed to work with the appendages, but now I have to actually figure out the logic, as well as the second leg, because we could either have it to where both legs move forward at the same time. I would rather have it more like a walking animation. So it's like one step 1 foot forward and then the next foot forward. So how about I do some investigating and figure out how we're going to make this work. Okay, and now with both legs set up, this is what I'm thinking. So what we're going to have is first I want one side to update and move the leg forward. So like if we move this guy forward, and then I would need to update this middle piece to then update that foot, causing it to drop to the ground like that. Perfect. And then I would need to update the last leg to push that forward, and then would need to update the centerpiece a second time to then move that foot forward and down, and then it looks like we should be ready to then repeat that logic. Okay, now that's the logic for the feet. So now we basically just need to set up the engine or the brain to run the entire device, and I'm sure that's gonna be super simple, right? Right. All right, peeps. So I ended up scouring the land of YouTube for something to help me kind of understand how these mechanics work. And I came across this fantastic tutorial by Daniel PH. Caveat, it's a Pocket Edition build, so I don't actually expect this to work here on Java, but I feel like it's a great build to kind of figure out how things work together, and it might be a good foundation for us to build off of. And here we have it. So let's see if we can figure out how this logic is supposed to work. From what I can tell, basically what's supposed to happen is first this piston gets activated, which pulls this top section forward. That then causes it to collide with this front piece, and then that will cause this piston to push that piece forward, but that also causes this observer to fire, which will trigger that sticky piston back inside there, which will pull this leg forward, raising this foot, and then that also then causes a movement for this middle section, which is then picked up by this observer, which will then trigger this sticky piston that's hiding right back here. And that will cause this to pop in and out, which will update this piston and then cause the foot to drop back down. And then while that's happening, it's also triggering this side to get pushed forward, which then causes another movement here. So that gets double triggered, and then this foot is then lowered down. At least on paper, that's supposed to be what happens. Let's find out if that's actually what happens. Okay, so let's see. To trigger this, something doesn't seem right here. Let's see if we could trigger with this. And that, of course, didn't work. And several world backups later, peeps, we figured it out. What do y'all think? Now, it turns out we were actually able to stay pretty close to Daniel PH's design, but what we had to do to get this working in Java was we actually had to do something different to update these pistons, which was not updating with the Pocket Edition version. And basically the biggest change that we had to do is we actually just had to extend this piece down one more block. Now that wasn't the only change, but that was the biggest change. And in all honesty, I really just recommend that you check out his tutorial video if you would like to figure out how to build this yourself. All right, friends, enough faffing about. I know what we're all here for, and that's, does it move? God, I hope it moves. I don't know if you heard my stomach right there. It totally growled. Okay, let's give this a shot. And lesson learned, several world backups have been made just in case, but let's, please work, please work, please work, please work. Keeps, it works. Oh my God, look at it. It's so majestic. Look at it just galloping through this flower field. Oh my God, I love... Oh, of course the amethyst broke, of course. Oh, that's so great. Okay, so definitely we can see this top section is getting pulled forward. That then pulls this leg forward. That middle piece then gets updated, which causes the foot to drop down. And then also this other leg is getting pulled forward, and same update. And now it's gonna collide into this dirt wall. The machine can walk, but it sure as hell can't climb. I don't got enough brain cells for that. Oh, and it's now done. Well, friends, that's it. That's how to make a walking flying machine in Minecraft. And with that, we're gonna go ahead and call it here for today. Thank you all for coming and hanging out with me. I had an absolute blast. I would love to hear your thoughts on the episode, but as always, I love you and see you all in the next episode. Laters!